Welcome at Most Club and at Most Radio. Thank you for coming. Tonight we have Lusa Cuthbert and his band. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to introduce your musician, please?
Yes. On my right we have Marvin Morel, drummer extraordinaire. On my left we have Antoine Douin, who is the guitarist, and beside him is Johan Bizel, who plays the bass. And so they're all French because I live in the north of France, originally Irish, adopted by France.
Grazie, avevo chiesto a Lusa di introdurre il suo gruppo e ci ha spiegato appunto che sono tutti francesi. And how this could be happen that you play with the French musician and why you live in France now?
I really wish you hadn't asked me that question, because I originally moved to France for a man, and that didn't work out so well, and then I moved out and stayed there because I had a job, and in Ireland you can't get jobs, so you know, most of the young people have left Ireland to find opportunities abroad, so yeah, that's why, and so I found my musicians there. You can maybe cut that question from the video.
E adesso chiediamo a Lisa appunto di parlarci un pochino del disco che sta promuovendo, il Paramour. You are on tour promoting your second record, Paramour. Please introduce the record for our audience.
Okay. So Paramore is a concept album about the survivor stories of the Magdalene Laundries, which were institutions set up by the Catholic Church in Ireland for their rehabilitation, which is what they said in public, I suppose, but really women were imprisoned and enslaved there, and there are now survivors who are coming out and telling their stories, so it was really for them and about them, and I tried to put myself in their position to write some personal music that wasn't coming directly from me, but from somewhere else, because I'd already done the singer-songwriter thing. I wanted to try something else, so so that was the reason I did it. So every song on the album is putting myself in a different person's position, I suppose, in within the whole story. So you had women put there for various reasons. Some women were unwed mothers, for example. So obviously it's against the Catholic Church to get pregnant before marriage. Some of those women were pregnant because they were raped, which is also their fault according to the Catholic Church in Ireland. Some people were put there because they were handicapped, because they were difficult to manage. Ireland was also a very poor country at that time, so a lot of families couldn't support their daughters, basically, so if they couldn't marry them off, they put them in the Catholic Church, and that was the way it was. Most families had a lot of children because contraception was also against the Catholic Church, so Irish Catholic families could be anything up to 10, 12 kids. So obviously they couldn't afford to support all of them. So in most families you had at least one child who was sent to the church to become a priest or a nun, probably like in Italy. So it was, I suppose the Catholic Church wasn't questioned about anything. We didn't ask questions at that time because it was the church, it was God, you know, this was God, you know, working through these people, so their decisions weren't questioned. So now it's very difficult for them to find records of all of the people that lived and worked in these kind of institutions and died there. More recently they found a mass grave with 800 newborn babies buried in one of the Magdalene Laundry grounds. So, you know, that leaves a lot of questions to be answered, I suppose, when you find 800 dead babies in the ground. You know, musically You have some kind of rock anthem type songs on it. You have some electronic kind of sounds, trip hop sort of elements as well. There's a lot going on. There are big orchestrations too. Yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment, touring that, and we're also working on a new one at the moment with the new band. So they've been with me for a year, and so we're hoping to make something cool soon and tour that next year. So we'll be back in Italy, hopefully.
Adesso chiediamo a lei appunto del nuovo disco che sta preparando con la sua nuova band. You are working on a new album with the musician that are here. Is it another concept album with an idea so strong behind, or is something different? You work with the musician, or you just alone with the words and the atmosphere? What the other musician influenced you?
Well, basically we're doing a mix of some of my old tracks, which I don't have the rights to anymore because of the record label I used to work with, who own that 100%. So that's done, and that's cool. So we're redoing some of my old songs, and we're also doing some new tracks with a completely different approach. So what's happening is instead of me writing everything and then teaching them how to do it, which is what we did before, or getting them to rearrange my old songs, they're arranging a lot of the stuff already, which leaves me to focus on the lyrics and the vocal lines. So it's a different take, and I'm kind of well, I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm enjoying it at the same time. It's I'm out of my comfort zone a lot, but I think that's a good thing. He's laughing.
Ora, Lusa, prima di intraprendere questa carriera con la nuova formazione, ha avuto una carriera solista che l'ha lanciata in tantissime collaborazioni. So Lisa, you played with many musicians, you were a guest, vocal guest in many records, and you played with Sisters of Mercy and other bands. You have a particular feeling with one of them when you play? Talk about us your experience before, please.
Okay. Well, at the moment, I like to feature on Hellborn's live performances. So it was Hellborn are a doom metal band from Palma in Mallorca, and they're a really great band, really cool people. You know, they're just great. And so I got a random email one day to feature on their album, and I thought, yes, fucking doom record, I'm on that. So I did that, and then afterwards they invited me to do their release show, and then after that we did a festival in Berlin. Doom Festival.
Doom what?
Doom Rotten Death Festival in Berlin in K17. So I did that last week, just before coming on tour here. Yeah, so they're a great band, and I love playing. I love singing with a metal band. It's different. I get to drink a lot before going on stage. I get to hang out with hairy people, which I'm used to in Dublin, but not so much in France. You know, in France, people are not so hairy. Look at them; they're not that hairy. Joe's hairy. Yeah, you know.
A little bit less.
Sometimes. So anyway, Hellborn is a great one that I love featuring on. The Sisters of Mercy, I've done 2 shows with them, one of which they asked me to do a solo performance of my solo version of their song This Corrosion, which I love. So I'm a huge Sisters fan. Anyway, they're great. Yeah, so that was awesome to do the 2 festivals with them. It's a different thing because the crowds are enormous. You know, I play kind of underground music. We play smaller venues than that. Wasn't used to playing in front of 17,000 people, so that was a huge thing. But I love it because that gives me an excuse to dance on stage, because for my shows I can't dance. I'm behind the piano, and also it's quite
We're waiting for it though.
maybe one day. I mean, I can kind of jig on the spot, but not really. Yeah, Sasha Fierce. But I mean, my music is not dancey. Hellborn is more headbangy, and which would be the technical term, and the Sisters of Mercy, I get to dance and I get to do just the female parts of songs that I love, that I've been listening to for years. I mean, those songs were made before I was born, really. So yeah, so I mean, it's cool. So those are my main collaborations that I'm really proud of.
Lei ha anche effettuato il tour di supporto ai Maria, no? in Olanda, che è stato tutto sold out. You did a tour with Marillion in Dutch tour with Marillion.
I did one concert in
1 week.
Amsterdam and one in the UK.
In the UK. And what about your emotion performing with so big audience in this big festival?
Oh yeah, that was yeah, that was quite big. Also, it was maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people. But yeah, it was good. I did the first one was in the UK in the Assembly in Leamington Spa in the UK. It was a big one for me, so I was really nervous and stuff. And I had a guitarist with me at the time as well, so it was just me and a guitar, electric guitar, similar kind of style to Antoine, the kind of atmospheric stuff. And the crowd seemed to enjoy that, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was a big boost for me. And then Amsterdam with them as well, same kind of thing. In Leamington Assembly, though, that was cool because they had downstairs in the basement under the venue, they had Tammy Wynette's caravan. It was a caravan that was owned by Tammy Wynette. You know Tammy Wynette? She sings like Stand By Your Man. She's kind of like a Dolly Parton type, sort of country American. But yeah, so it was like a Barbie motorhome, this thing. It was all in pink, covered in plastic, and we were sitting in that drinking afterwards, and it was it's cool to say that you've had a session in Tammy Wynette's caravan. That was cool. But also, yeah, that's quite a long time ago. I don't, for me, a lot has happened since then, so I'm kind of trying to go back to that. And yeah, they were good shows. I didn't get to tour with Marillion, but 2 big shows, yeah, and it was cool.
And about your Paolo tour, in which town you are going to play now? You're all over Europe.
We had Salerno yesterday evening, excuse me, and on to Vienna then, where we're going to Vienna, and then Prague, and then Warsaw, and then we're going back for a few days. We're going to Colmar, Legrinan in Colmar. We played there before. It was really cool, and we're doing a video there as well, so that's cool, like a live video. And then we have Rennes in Brittany, in France. So this is the most we've played in France, I think, this year. And then what else? Then we're going to Wave Gothic Treffen in Leipzig, so that's cool. I haven't played there since 2010, so the project has evolved a lot since then. It's going to be massive. It's going to be cool. And I also really want to show them Wave Gothic Treffen, because they're going to freak the fuck out when they see it. And we're going to go goth watching. And then we're playing one in Ghent, Ghent, which is in Belgium. It's near enough to where we live. We live in a place called Tourcoing in the north of France, very close to the Belgian border. So it's very close to us. And then it's home. And then, sorry.
Don't hit me, Alex.
Excuse me. And No.
It's beyond business skills.
So yeah, we've a lot of pop culture references there that we could do without, I think. Yeah, and
I agree with that.
yeah. So and then we're going home, and then we're going to work on this album, because that's the plan. Because that is the plan.
Cosa ne pensi del nostro paese? What do you think about our country? You like to play here? You will come back?
Of course, if you book us. If you book them, they will come. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It was my first time in Italy, and I'd heard all about it, and I'd heard what a beautiful country it was, and I'd heard about the fucking drivers, and so I wasn't. No, I have to say I was shocked on the roads driving around Salerno. They have all these little passageways, and people zipping everywhere, and you have to see it. I think it's something that everyone should experience, driving in Italy. But other than that, no, the show was great in Salerno. We had an audience that were quite, I mean, I don't think they moved a muscle throughout that whole thing. We had our friend Simone there, who's been a fan for ages, and so he's been hassling me to come to Italy, really. I mean, not really, no. He's been waiting for us to come to Italy, and when he heard that we were coming to Italy, he was really happy about it. So he came along, and he was up the front, and he was mouthing all the words, and it was great. That makes you feel good, when you write something and you see someone who's experiencing it live and really loving it. That's cool. The Italian people are passionate. Yeah, it's cool. They've great food, great wine. What's not to like?
Ringraziamo Lusa, Cuthbert e i suoi musicisti per essere stati i nostri ospiti e speriamo di rivederla presto. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for coming here. Thank you to the Radio Moss, and welcome back again. Grazie.
Grazie.